Friends, the time has come when we have got Justice J.R. Midha ji will be taking us through for a very important ride in our practice and enlightening us with various aspects and his experience. I, Vivek Agarwal, convener of ACA Study Circle, welcome Justice J.R. Midha ji and all the people who have joined today. I request our chairman of Allied Laws Committee, Kamal Nayan Jain ji, to give a welcome speech.
Thank you, President Vivek Agarwal, for giving me this privilege of giving this welcome address. Friends, as you all know, that today we are having a program and we have given it a caption, Art of Attaining Perfection for Professionals. We all professionals know that perfection is required for undertaking or handling any assignment. But to develop a habit of perfection, we need some art, some skill. What is perfection? Is it a milestone? No, it's not a milestone, but it's a journey. It's an attitude. It's a habit that we have to inculcate in ourselves as a professional so that we can handle our assignments very properly and to the satisfaction of all the stakeholders for whom we are working. And we could not have any other person better than Justice J.R. Midha, as Rahul was speaking so high about the justice. Otherwise, also for a jury, he has to be perfect because he has always to handle two sides of the coin, and perfectly he has to do justice with all the parties, all the stakeholders involved. So with these words, friends, I'll not speak much, and rather I'll expedite myself so that we can even give more and more time, and we are enlightened with the knowledge of Justice J.R. Midha. With these words, I'm giving back to the President.
Thank you, Kamal Nayan Jain ji, past President ACA and our Chairman for Allied Laws. I would request Rahul Prasampriya ji, who has been instrumental to get Sir over here, to give a brief introduction of Sir so that we can listen maximum to Sir.
So first, I would say that it is a great pleasure for us to welcome such a noted personality in our association. So sir, this is a great pleasure, sir. So on behalf of the association one and all, so I welcome you to this association, sir, ACAE. So I would just like to give a brief, it is not a brief, but I will try to be brief. So coming on to this, Justice J.R. Midha, he is a former judge of Delhi High Court. So having been served as a judge of Delhi High Court for more than 13 years, as a judge presided over several jurisdictions, including judge in charge of original side of Delhi High Court, also headed a division bench hearing criminal appeals involving life and death sentences. As a judge, Justice J.R. Midha was actively initiated judicial reforms in various jurisdictions, namely arbitration, motor accident claims, execution of cases, maintenance in matrimonial cases, compensation to victim of crime, prosecution for false claims, prosecution for proclaimed offender. Sir has also served as chairperson of Delhi International Arbitration Center. During his tenure, various new initiatives were successfully undertaken, namely framing of rules for impanelment of arbitrators under the new rules, stage-wise disbursal of fees to the arbitrators, improved website of DIAC with added features. Sir has also served as a chairperson of the Judicial Education and Training Program committed by the High Court of Delhi. Sir has also served as a member of the subcommittee of the Supreme Court on the use of artificial intelligence in MSCT cases. Sir has also served as a member of the advisory board of Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities 1974 Act. Sir has also presided over the tribunal under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 to examine the ban on activities of United Liberation Front of Assam. So, and sir has also been part of the notable judgments ordered delivered as a judge of a Delhi High Court. So one we all recall, Juhi Chawla versus the Science Engineering Research Board, where the division bench of the High Court wide order dated 27 January 2020 has reduced the cost of rupees 20 lakh to 2 lakhs of rupees. So it goes on and on, the judgment and everything delivered. So right now I'll be coming on to the current position what sir is holding. Sir is arbitrator, conciliator, mediator, and legal consultant, presently conducting more than 20 arbitrations as an arbitrator. Sir is also currently impaneled as an arbitrator of Delhi International Arbitration Center, Indian Council of Arbitration, PhD Commerce, PhD Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and Indian Dispute Resolution Center. Currently, sir is administrator of Sri Kalkaji Mandir, New Delhi, appointed by the Delhi High Court. And sir is also currently holding the position of professor at Emeritus of Galatia's Universities. So the list goes on. I have just tried to summarize this 4-page list into some of the which I can do. Sir has in his kitty publication of books as well, amendments to Code of Civil Procedure Code, motor accident claims, and so on and on. So sir, it is over to you. So there is long thing which have to go. So our association will be again in future fortunate to have you either physically or virtually once again, so that we can get more of it. So over to you, sir, on the subject.
Thank you. I am thankful to the ACAE Chartered Accountant Study Circle for inviting me to address this gathering. Mr. Vivek Agarwal, President, Mr. Kamal Nayan Jain, Chairman, and Mr. Rahul, Co-Chairman. Thanks for the nice words spoken by you. And I am again thankful to all of you for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Today's topic is a very, very interesting topic as to how to attain perfection in a profession. You see, I have been with my experience initially as a lawyer for more than 26 years, and then also a law teacher in Delhi University initially from 89 to 92, and thereafter in judiciary for more than 13 years. In fact, it was more, the learning was more in the last phase of judiciary, where I examined very minutely as to how to attain perfection and what are the shortcomings. And my understanding of this subject as to how to attain perfection, every day I used to see what are the qualities, how to become absolutely perfect. So my understanding is that the most important criteria or the most important quality of becoming a perfect professional is the perfect communication skills. My perception is that if the communication skills are lacking, then even if, let's take the example of a lawyer, he may be having 100% knowledge of law, very good command of the facts, but if the communication skills are lacking, then everything is multiplied with zero. Similarly, it is not only for a lawyer, but every professional, whether a chartered accountant or any other professional, whether I'll go on to extend to any other professional. For every professional, the communication skill is a must. Question rises, and we can look back every day in life. Every day in life, we meet people who are you meet so many people, and when you communicate with them, you find the communication to be so pleasant that in even one meeting you remember them forever. And many times the people with good communication skill, you always love to communicate with them. And the understanding and the other things in life are understood better with good communication skill. On the other hand, every day you come across people who have no communication skill, and then you always avoid such people who have no communication skill. Therefore, not only for a professional, but to my mind, for a successful life on this planet, the most important thing is the communication skill. In fact, this is a quality which the nature or the universe has bestowed only on the human beings, which is the quality of number one, communication skills, art of communication skills, and also the another major difference which we'll also discuss and will be part of communication skill is that none of the animals are permitted or even given that quality of a smile or laugh. Only human beings can, although the animals can cry, but they can't smile and laugh, which only human beings can do. So question rises, how to perfect this art of communication skill? You see, art of communication skill is although looks very simple, but it has got varied ingredients. First and foremost ingredient of the communication skill is the art of listening. So if we do not listen properly, then the communication cannot happen. And for a professional, the art of listening is most important. It is so, especially if we take a lawyer or a chartered accountant or some such professional, any other professional for that matter, even a doctor for that matter, he has to listen properly. When an architect, even an engineer, if he doesn't listen properly, then the first major thing which would have led to the perfection is lost. So first is art of listening, and then listening without interruption, without interrupting. And then once we have listened completely and understood, then the second ingredient is thinking before speaking. So one way is that normally which we see in people in society, that when they speak, they speak without thinking. So then again the valuable communication skill is lost. So there should be a thinking process before we speak our words. You see, one very important thing is that in human body, everything which comes out, which goes inside and then which comes out, stinks. You can see all things which come out. Even the air which we breathe out is stinking. Only thing which we can ensure that it does not stink is our words, what comes from our mouth. If that also stinks, then everything is lost. So, therefore, next is art of speaking. Then in art of speaking, we have various modes. One is the oratory, one is the speed, one is speaking with emotions, and then most important is to keep a smile on the face when you're speaking. You see, to give a very small example, speaking with emotions, you see, most of the time you must have seen people ask, how are you, without meaning anything. They don't want to ask another person, and then they don't wait for the other person to answer also. And the other person also knows that it was not a serious, it was just a way of starting the communication. Other person didn't want to know how is he feeling. And then also he has got standard answer, yes, fine, everything is fine, everything great. Although everything might be very, very miserable. But it is, that sentence is without emotions. Neither the person who is asking, how are you, wants to know how the other side is feeling, nor the person who wants to answer is sure that the question has come and is not to be answered. So therefore he has a standard answer, though no emotions are involved. And this very nice incident, I don't know whether it's real or not, where a person asked the other person that, how are you? They met after a very long time. So the other person took it very seriously. So he held the hand and asked the person asking to sit down. They had met after many years, they were friends. So he kept on telling how his life was miserable. And then when more than 1 hour was over, then the first person said, "I am sorry, I never meant that you will take so much time. I withdraw my question. We'll meet some other time." So one way is to speak without emotions, and other is when you speak with emotions, the smile on your face, how much difference it makes. I still remember many times, even while I was holding the position, especially I always remember that incident. You see, the people who speak very pleasantly, you always remember in life. Even in one meeting is good enough. I once went to hear a lecture and a photographic exhibition at India Habitat Center, New Delhi, where a world-renowned Indian photographer, Mr. Binoy Behel, was speaking. And on the stage, when I heard him, it was so mesmerizing, so mesmerizing. I said, "Look, this is the way he's speaking, as if God is speaking. In fact, I should speak like this in court." Although, and many times I tried to do it, but I think it was too late by that time. So, and you see, one more difficulty is normally this we have to learn on our own, because nobody on this planet has got a, or you can say, has liberty to tell you that you should speak more pleasantly. Nobody can tell you. So therefore, we keep on speaking whole life the way we started in our childhood, because nobody told us, nobody trained us, nobody taught us, and we keep on speaking. And then speaking also, you will see there are two ways of speaking. One is when you use full energy, and the second is when you speak just from the whole energy, just from the throat and tongue. Many times you must have seen, particularly in when you see the Europeans speak, they speak very as if no energy is being used, no air is being moving. They're speaking very pleasantly and very softly, and with the words and with the gestures, without use of much energy. And if you see, there's so many, if anybody would take more interest in it, I'm teaching this also communication skills in the university, because again, for a legal, I'll come to that also a little later, for a legal professional or a practicing person, communication skill is most important art, but which is not taught anywhere. And so that the students never get any opportunity of improving from where they had left. And that communication skill, how we speak, if anybody would find more interest and look into it, it is all connected with breathing also. If you change the breathing pattern, the everything will change, even the oratory and everything, and will automatically change. Taking a more simpler example, some words we speak from the throat level. Some words we speak the air comes from the chest level. And some words we speak which come from the abdominal level. I think before we switch over, for example, if you see Om has got 3 ingredients, A, U and Om. If you separately speak A, it comes only from the throat. Throat vibrates. U, if you go, it comes to the chest. Ma, if you speak, it comes from the abdomen. So therefore, Om has got a significance irrespective of the religious beliefs. Om is a word, when you speak it, then all your throat, chest and abdominal muscles are used. And therefore, it has got an effect of purifying. In fact, if you go little more, examine it a lot more deeper, we have practically 2 types of body functions. One which are totally autonomous and automatic. For example, heartbeat, liver, kidney, everything is working on its own. We don't have to give any instructions. And the second set of body parts are where we have to use the body instructions, for example, hands, eyes, legs, whatever we want to do. But there are third category of body parts which go on moving automatically if you don't use any given instructions. But by your by your command, you can also control them. For example, on breathing, if you don't pay attention, automatically the body is breathing the way it wants to breathe. It can breathe. But you can always consciously change the breath. And with the change of breath, you can control the whole life. This is a deeper subject. I think we'll take up on some other level. We have gone in the side, but coming back to the subject, that our communication should be so pleasant that in our first meeting with anybody, we impress the person so much that it should be the effect of mesmerizing or hypnotizing. You meet so many people in life, and then you get mesmerized that, look, how pleasant this person is speaking. But we can also do it. So if as a professional, if with the client we speak very pleasantly, and then the authority before which we go, whether as a lawyer or as a chartered accountant or any other authority, for example, engineer also, he goes somewhere and gets the work done, everything will be done. In fact, this skill, not only for professionals, even for remaining professionals also, the best way to lead the life on the planet is to remain pleasant and cheerful, and wherever we go. And if this skill is perfected, then to my mind, a major achievement of attaining perfection for a professional is achieved. But sad part is that this skill is not taught at any level, whether in a professional course or in a non-professional course. And it is more easier to acquire it in the initial stages. Of course, with a strong determination, it can be acquired at any stage. At any stage, we decide that we have to now change, we have to improve, we have to perfect. We can do it. I keep on improving now also at this stage. Every day I try to do it better than what it was done yesterday. All of us can do it, but certainly it requires a commitment to do it. So, to my mind, if we are able to achieve the perfection in this, then a major achievement is received in the attaining perfection for a professional. Now, before I come to the second one especially for those practicing before courts and tribunals, whether as a lawyer or as a chartered accountant. You see, this is in my other lectures also on reforms in legal education. It is a very interesting, I always quote this. You see, in all other professions, one has to actually deliver. When you charge the money, you deliver. But when a person is conducting a case before a judicial or quasi-judicial authority, as a lawyer, chartered accountant, or any other practicing pleader, then results he is not delivering. So what the lawyer is doing, he is first communicating with the client. He's first talking with the client. And then he's talking with the judge. And when the client says, what are you delivering me? He says, no. That depends upon if the judge is able to understand the case, he will give you the relief, others will file appeal. So I can't assure the result. So no delivery of result. Whereas in any other profession, for example, one is an architect, you have to actually give the plan, no? You have to actually give the plan. For a doctor, you have to actually conduct the surgery. For an engineer, you have to actually construct a house and give it before taking money or while taking money. But in a judicial or quasi-judicial proceeding, you will say, I am only talking. So meaning thereby, you will first talk with the client, then you will talk with the judge, and you will take money. And how much money? How much money? So much money which no other professional business can make. You see, let's assume you are You're manufacturing cars. For manufacturing a car of 10 lakh rupees, you end up spending, I think at times more than 10 lakhs also, or hardly you are able to save 5% or few percent. Think of making a mobile phone, how much effort it takes. You are running airlines, you will take mere 5,000 and you have to carry that person from Delhi to Bombay or elsewhere. And here, how much you get for talking in legal profession? If you put the minting machine on one side and you put the top lawyers of our country, I think the minting machine will feel shy. And doing what? Only talking. So therefore, talking has to be so mesmerizing. Anybody you meet in life, and then not only for profession, I go a step further. If your talking is so pleasant, then at home, in your office, in the authority, judicial authority, quasi-judicial authority, client, everywhere, wherever you go, people will love you. They'll wait for you to speak out the words. And if for a authority as a counsel or as a pleader, if only by you have to do talking and not assuring result, then why not perfect that art so much? Perfect that art so much that there's nobody as compared to you. So before moving to the next one, so now at least keep a smile on your face, no? Which it doesn't cost anything. I'm still seeing many people not even smiling. We should keep a smile now, at least today. And always, God has not given this opportunity to anybody. You see, just assume if animals also had a choice of smiling, they all would have laughed, no? And we would have, and birds, we would not have caught them, they would have laughed at us. Monkeys would laugh at us and tease us. Therefore, God said, no, only human being can laugh and smile. They can cry, but they can't laugh. Dog was given option of smiling, but through the tail, not through the face. So this is a God-gifted opportunity. So we should whole day keep smiling, laughing, whomsoever we talk. And if we perfect this art of communication, then a perfect profession, perfect family, perfect neighborhood. Your employees will be happy, your superiors will be happy, family will be happy, children will be happy, and you'll spread happiness all around. So this is the first art of attaining perfection, which to my mind will take care of 60% of the success rate in attaining perfection. The second most important art of attaining perfection is rational thinking, logical thinking. For every professional, you see, this itself is a science. It is not something. Let's assume we are dealing with law as a lawyer or a chartered accountant, or as other professional for a company secretary. Now, from reading the facts and from reading the law and the section and judgment, rational thinking will not come. I'll give you a very simple example of a recent case. Let's take the case of Aryan's bail case. Right? So the law which was cited before the lowest court magistrate was this: all correct law was cited, all judgments were also cited. Right? So bail was rejected. Second level also, same thing was cited in a correct manner, still was rejected. High court level, again it was submitted, but in a different form. Law is same, which is cited. Kindly see. Judgments which are cited are the same. Only few sentences were more rational just few sentences of rational thinking which were put in such a form that it convinced the court. Just see. So what is that? That is the rational thinking. Same thing put in a very rational manner, very logical manner. Again, recollect. You can again. This is not a. You can say deep secret or science. Every day we come across people. When we talk to them, they give so many logical answers and convince us many times. Your family members. You tell something to your child and he gives you some logical reasoning. You immediately change your mind. You say, yes, what you're saying is right. So therefore, again, logical thinking will not only improve your professional status, but also improve your overall life. When you're talking at home and something they say and you give a logical reasoning, for merely saying abruptly, no, I don't agree, it will not put the other side at peace. You say that, look, you may be right, but look, kindly see, these are the 4 disadvantages of what you're saying. It can happen. And if it is put up with a good communication skill, other person will say, yes, you may be right. Similarly, your employee says that, look, I want to go to leave. One way you simply throw on the face that no, rejected, you can't do it. You are always doing like this, you untrustworthy and all that. Other, you can say that, look, these are the 4 reasons. You earlier also you have taken this much leave in this year. Secondly, this much work is immediately in hand, which cannot wait and has to be released during this period. Third, this is not the proper time. It is the COVID time. You should not travel. Fourth, this is the problem. So you give 5 reasons and then say that, please think it over and tell me. The other person says, you are right. I had taken already 60 days leave and it is not a proper time. And thirdly, this work in hand is important. So I will not do it. It recently happened. I'm these days, as Mr. Rahul told, I'm the administrator of Kalkaji Temple. So our managers, there was a death in the family and he said, I have to travel and we'll have to go to the hills for 1 week. So I said, it is a very serious thing, death has happened, but kindly just these 4 things are there. After considering these 4 things, because court hearing is there and this report has to be prepared, this inspection has to be completed. And this cannot be done without you because of your role in this. So these 4 things you think over and then come back. He said, no, you are right. I have taken a decision. I will not take leave. One other way would, no, what is this? Every day people die when you unnecessarily, you are going there. I'm rejecting it. Don't go there. Let people die. So therefore, to my mind, we should be so rational and logical. So rational and logical in everything. Communicating with the clients, then communicating with the authority, communicating with the court, communicating with the children, communicating with the employees, communicating with the neighbors. So if coupled with the communication skills and speaking rationally, now again you take up one more fine example. In all cases which you do, even in tax cases, even if you point out the best law and the best argument, everything in the lower court, and it does not, you don't get the relief. Then the matter goes to the superior court finally, and when you engage a senior advocate, let's assume the matter goes to the Supreme Court, you engage a senior advocate. Now, entire briefing is done by the briefing person. So, and the senior advocates who charge 10 times more than what you have done for preparing the case, he does what? He's just you can call it there are 3 things he's doing. One, he's the amplifier. So CD, you are putting what to speak. He only rearranges what things you have told him in a more rational manner. You have told him the facts, you have told him the law. Same facts, same law. He will, number 1, rearrange them to put in with his rational thinking, and number 2, he will communicate very, very nicely. Now, kindly see one more aspect. These two issues which we are discussing today is not something which we have to learn for the first time now, or which we have to do extra from our childhood when we acquired our, you can say, consciousness. We are non-stop speaking also and thinking also, and only thing is we are not communicating properly, and we are not thinking rationally, and or we are not maybe thinking, we are not communicating rationally. Rather, you see, all other professions, if you see, all other professions, the art which is there, that art is not what we do day to day. For example, a chemist or a chemistry scientist, the science of chemistry is not everyday's thing. No, it is something out different from what we do. And the work which he does of chemical reactions, that also is not what we do every day. So a chemistry scientist cannot merely earn by communication skill. And secondly, even if he lacks little communication skill or rational thinking, ultimately what will matter is whether he has combined those chemicals in a proper ratio and a proper temperature and in a proper vessel in a proper quantity, then only result will come. So communication skills and rational thinking at that stage may not produce any extra result. Rather, it has to be the extra knowledge which has to be there. But what a pleader or a lawyer is doing, he otherwise is also doing at the same day. You see, everybody is speaking from morning to evening, but he is not paid for speaking. Everybody on this planet keep on speaking from morning to evening, but it doesn't paid for that. But when a lawyer or pleader speaks, he charges for speaking. Then a lawyer or a judge is judging, and whole day we keep on judging. Judging is not something new we have adopted. Every day, from every moment, you keep on judging. Every person you meet in life, you start judging him. You meet a person, you are really impressed with him. Then when he speaks, then you judge him. First you judge him, and then you let him speak. And when every answer he gives, you keep on changing your mind that even now when you are hearing me, you are judging me, no? We keep on judging, whole day we keep on judging each other. So, but we don't get paid for this judging every day. But when judging is the profession, then you get money for it. So, in this profession, for speaking, you get money. For judging, you get money. For rational thinking, you get money. And no extra work, this otherwise also you are doing. So why not refine it and take to a level when that whomsoever you speak, whomsoever you see, even if nobody, the smile should be so broad on your face, even if you are traveling in a train or aeroplane, somebody sees you, says that, look, that person was. Many times you meet people, no, and you see even from a distance, you are not communicating, you still feel impressed with them. So therefore, communication skill without rational thinking may not produce the result. Therefore, we have to perfect the art of rational thinking and logical thinking. So this is one art again, which to my mind should be taught in all professional institutes. We for our matter, although it is very important for legal professionals, but still it is not taught in any of the law courses. We are now initiating this also in the legal thing. Now, third art of perfection, third quality for attaining the perfection is the clarity on the fundamentals of the subject. You see, whatever subject one is expertise as a professional, the fundamentals of the subject should be very clear. Now, question rises, what difference between fundamentals and And otherwise, if we let's take any act for that matter, whether Income Tax Act, or we take any other law for that matter, or any other subject, if you see. So clarity on fundamentals is when you examine the thing in and out, and to see what was the position when this law was not there, why this law was framed, and what we wanted to achieve, whether we have achieved that what was there to create this law, and then what is the shortcoming. I'll give you a very simple example of rational thinking and also on this fundamentals. Now, kindly see so many laws which were framed in the constitution of our country and even prior thereto. For example, take the offense of adultery in Indian Penal Code. See how old is the Indian Penal Code? And now somebody challenged and said, look, this is discriminatory. This law is bad because here, if a man enters into relationship with a married woman, then it is offense. But for the married woman, it is not an offense. So woman is treated as a chattel, and different other, again, rational arguments are given and the law is struck down. So for 100 years, nobody thought this law to be irrational. Today, suddenly somebody thought, and those few reasons given were sufficient to set aside the entire law. So many other laws also. Just see, after 50 years, 100 years. So meaning thereby, if you anything which you look at from a different analytical angle, I'll take a very simpler example. Let's take the example of a trademark law, Trademark Act. Now, one way of reading Trademark Act is to start reading the section, then case law, and then everything. Other is to examine what was the position when this law was not there. And what would be the position if today this law was not there. So very logical answer comes that if trademark law was not there, then everybody would start manufacturing biscuits of Britannia. And what will happen? The quality of the original Britannia is good, but a customer can't find out which one is the original. There are 100 manufacturers who everybody is making. So original Britannia suffers because he had built a reputation and quality which is not able to encash. And see the plight of the customer. He wants to buy original Britannia, but there are 100 people, he can't find out who is the original one. So therefore, when this problem might have arisen, then they said, let's bring a law that a person who has got the trademark, then and he registered this also, then other can't violate it. And today also, if this law would not have been there would have been a crisis. Then we'll see whether this law has been able to plug that wrong which was what was done. And if we find yes, there's still something wrong with it, then we can say whether it can be challenged. So therefore, understanding the law in and out is very important. So this I call the third ingredient as understanding of the fundamentals of the subject in which you are dealing. Now I will reverse it. Although I have discussed these topics in a sequence of their importance, but the reverse sequence is more important than the first sequence. If the fundamentals of the subject, let's assume you are dealing with a tax matter before a appellate tribunal, income tax appellate tribunal. If the fundamentals are not clear, then the rational thinking will not start. The basic for starting rational thinking is, number one, understanding the fundamentals of the subject. Number two, mastering the facts. Once fundamental is clear, facts are mastered, then you apply rational thinking, then you get the answer. Once you get the answer, now you put that answer with your communication skills before the concerned authority. So therefore, if there is a deficiency in the understanding of the fundamentals, then the end result will also become difficult, because if the clarity on the subject is not there, then you can't compensate it by communication skills alone. Similarly, if the facts and the fundamentals are not mastered, then again rational thinking will also not give the right answer. Therefore, it has to be done in a reverse manner, that we should first improve, or you can say master, the whichever subject we are dealing with. We should master the subject fundamentals in and out, then master the facts. Then after mastering the facts and the fundamentals of the subject, then apply rational thinking. Then after applying rational thinking, then we exercise communication skills, and then we achieve the result. So to my mind, these are the three most important qualities, and you can also say most important ingredients for attaining the perfection in any profession. But even after adding these three subjects, to my mind, this also will take us to almost not more than 80%. The perfection cannot be more than 80% by adding 100% of all the three things. So remaining 20% is when we raise the level of our morality and understand what is human life and how to live consciously. This is the subject which is I think a very wide subject, and will require, I think, a separate session to discuss as to what is our purpose of being here, from where we have come, where we have to go, who are we, how to live consciously on this planet. That itself is and to become a good human being. If one is a good human being, then he'll be a good professional, he'll be a good father, he'll be a good brother, he will be a good son, good employer, good employee, good in everything. So that itself is a deeper subject, and I think on some other occasion we will, if the opportunity comes, we will have a detailed discussion on art of conscious living. I'll briefly touch this before I think we put this session at close. Normally, majority of the people on the planet, they live at body level only. They think they are the body. I think 70% would be living at body level only. Then the next 15-20, they rise to mind level. They think we are the mind. Then few rise to emotional level, live at the emotions. Then further rise is intellectual level, then energy level, and then spirit level. But for that, one has to go deeper and do some introspection and find out what is the life and how to live a morally correct life. But to my mind, the three qualities which we discussed, they are almost 100, although they are 80%, but they are 100% if one has to only live a worldly life. One has to live a worldly life and commercial life, and if life is success means only attaining fame and money, then I think those three are 100%. Then one doesn't have to worry and worry for the remaining 20%. Remaining 20% are if one feels that no, money and fame by itself are not sufficient. The life is something different. So we have to live perfect life and fill the bag which we should be able to carry when we leave the planet. then that 20% is more important. In that case, there's a very nice definition. I will rather I'll share one definition. I had the occasion to deal with it in one of my earlier lectures. Let me just see if I can retrieve it. See, one very nice quotation. Success is getting many of the things money can buy, but all the things money cannot buy. Success is getting many of the things money can buy, but all the things money cannot buy. So if you are able to get all the things which money cannot buy, then you are successful. Then second is very nice. How much a person would be worth if you take away all his money? The test of what is the real wealth of a person. If you take away all his money, then what will be worth? Let's assume there's a very nice. So if there is a very big eye surgeon or a doctor, well, even if you take away the entire money, still his status remains the same, level remains the same. That is the real wealth. Then very nice quotation. I will again share. This is very nice. I expect to pass this way but once. Any good, therefore, I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. Again, Mr. H.M. Sirvai, a great lawyer and authority on constitutional law, once said, if it can be said that because I lived, the lights of few houses burnt a little brighter, then I feel mine would have been a life well lived. I'll repeat. If it can be said that because I lived, the lights of few houses burnt a little brighter, then I feel mine would have been a life well lived. Then again, there's a very nice quotation, or rather a poem on success. Since we are today discussing success and perfection in life, it says, he has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has enjoyed the trust of pure women, the respect of intelligent men, and love of little children, who has filled his niche and accomplished his task, who has left the world better than he found it, whether by an improved copy, perfect poem, or a rescued soul, who has never lacked appreciation of earth's beauty or failed to express it, who has always looked for best in others, given them the best he had, whose life was an inspiration, whose memory is a benediction. So these are few very nice quotations which I thought, since we are today discussing how to attain perfection, perfection means perfection in life. Then one last thing I'll discuss. Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of United States. He wrote a letter to the headmaster of his child. I would like to quote the letter written by Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of United States of America, which should serve as a benchmark for all moral teachings to the students. His remarkable literary artistry, his profound sense of importance of government by, for and of the people, and the manner of his life and death have carved for him a niche in history. Here is a letter written by Abraham Lincoln to the headmaster of his school, in which his son was studying, a letter so typical of a man who bore malice towards none, and had charity for all. This letter be read with interest by teachers, students, parents, and professionals. To quote, he will have to learn, I know, but all men are not just, all men are not true. But teach him also that for every scoundrel there is a hero, for every selfish politician there is a dedicated leader. Teach him that for every enemy there is a friend. It will take time, I know, but teach him, if you can, that $1 earned is far more value than 5 found. Teach him to learn to lose and also enjoy winning. Steer him away from envy if you can. Teach him the secret of quiet laughter. Let him learn early that bullies are the easiest to lick. Teach him, if you can, the wonder of books, but also give him quiet time to ponder over the eternal mystery of birds in the sky, bees in the sun, and flowers in green hillside. In school, teach him it is far more honorable to fall than to cheat, far more honorable to fail than to cheat. Teach him to have faith in his own ideas, even if everyone tells him they are wrong. Teach him to be gentle with gentle people and tough with the tough. Try to give my son the strength not to follow the crowd when everyone is getting on the bandwagon. Teach him to listen to all men, but teach him also to filter all he hears on a screen of truth and take only the good that comes through. Teach him, if you can, how to laugh when he is sad. Teach him there is no shame in tears. Teach him to scoff at cynics and to beware of too much sweetness. Teach him to sell his barn and brain to the highest bidders, but never put a price tag on his heart and soul. I'll repeat this last one. Teach him to sell his brawn and brain to highest bidders, but never put a price tag on his heart and soul. Teach him to close his ears to the howling mob and to stand and fight if he thinks he is right. Treat him gently, but do not cuddle him, because only the test of fire makes fine steel. Let him have the courage to be impatient. Let him have the patience to be brave. Teach him always to be sublime faith in himself, because then he will always have sublime faith in mankind. This is a big order, but see what you can do. He is my fine little fellow, my son. This was one of my favorite letters which I read off and on. Although it is a letter written by him to the teacher, but it gives a complete message to all of us. How to live a conscious life on this planet. And to my mind, it is very important to understand what is life and how to live the life consciously. You see, all of us are not born equal, and we should know the art. The most certain thing on the planet is that the next moment is uncertain. Anything can happen. It may even be the last breath, or any calamity may come. So we all should know how to live the life consciously. Tomorrow, some health problem can come. Tomorrow, some disease can come. There might be some calamity. There might be some other problem. But if we know how to live the life consciously, then, and again, you see, very nice theories of the most logical thinking which has come on spiritual level is come in Buddhism, where Buddha said that pain is inevitable on the planet, but suffering is optional, because suffering comes from the thinking mind only. So you can separate pain and suffering. This is a great art. So even if we are successful, all the earlier 3 things we have attained, but we have not perfected the art of perfection, how to live consciously on this planet, how to separate pain and suffering, then again everything is multiplied with 0. Although this is not, I think, is not expected for me. Mr. Rahul and organizers must be wondering I have gone wide, but I think this is a hard reality of life, because today's topic, when we say perfection in any profession, but it must be perfection in life also. So perfect life will be when we live consciously, we understand what is life. Tomorrow, whatever worse may happen, we know it, we are not disturbed with it. And the very nice examples of separating pain from suffering is when Ramakrishna Paramahansa had throat cancer in his last days. Similarly, Ramana Maharshi also suffered cancer in the last days. And when Vivekananda asked Paramahansa that, look, you are suffering from pain, why don't you pray to the goddess? He said, no, this body is suffering. I am a witness. As you are looking, this body is suffering, I am also looking. I have separated pain for suffering. But if we don't know the art of that, and even if we are successful, we become the top professional in the planet, but we are not able to separate pain from suffering, then again everything is multiplied with 0. Anyway, this is a separate topic. We will discuss on some other occasion. If you all would be interested to discuss art of conscious living. So, but for today's discussion, I think we have gone beyond the theme which was expected of me today. So with this, I will close, and I thank all the organizers and also the participants for permitting me to share my thoughts with you. Thank you very much.
It was really a wonderful deliberation by Justice J.R. Midha. Look, I can say that ek pe ek free. So not only professionalism, how to attain perfection in the profession, how to live properly on this planet, how to be a good human being, how to be a perfect professional, how to be a good communicator. We have just wanted for one thing, and Justice Midha has given us so many. He has given us just, I can say, a complete bouquet of not only a professional but of a human being, from Lincoln to what not. I guess just that I was just mesmerized by his deliberation, and throughout his session, generally we professional, what we do, generally at time we do multitasking, hearing the lecture and doing something also. I was sharing with you. But the way you were deliberating, I was not able to distract myself with proper attention. And I think I was also seeing how many persons were in the beginning and how many at the end. So till from the beginning, there was addition, there was no deletion, sir. And this is I can say that everyone was listening to you with rapt attention. And that is the art of speaking, sir. That is the art of speaking when you can retain the audience while you're speaking. You have not allowed anybody to just go out of the screen. So, it was I can say that it was one of the finest deliberations I have ever heard. I'm just thankful to you. And now I leave to everyone to communicate and take the privilege of his presence. And I am requesting the audience now, the floor is yours.
If anybody has a question or anything, I'll just unmute them and they can very well ask with Justice J.R. Midha. So if anybody, they can just put it in the chat box, or they can just raise the hand. So I can just unmute them and they can directly ask to the Lordship. I'm just checking that if anybody has raised the hands. So one question I have received in a personal message. So that is with respect to, since the profession, our profession, that is basically of chartered accountants, company secretaries, cost accountants, are now more of moving towards the legal side and litigation side, sir. So what is your takeaway or giveaway? You have already given some of the tips with respect to that talking and communication skill and rationals, thinking clarity on the fundamentals. But apart from that, since now even the government of India has more expectations from the professionals, as the government used to have earlier. So now the spectrum has increased on that sense. So what you basically give us so that we can take away and use it in our profession for this?
You see, again, repeat, for any professional, whether a chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, first of all, we should have the fundamental clarity on the subject, whether it is income tax law or any other law. It should be in and out, so that we can then, it should be like a Rubik cube, no? Then we find and then we master the facts, and then with rational thinking we find the answers. Just go backward. You see, all of you must have, as a professional chartered accountant, so you must have dealt with the senior lawyers, no? When you go and brief the matter, when you lose the matter at lower forums, and then you go and brief for the High Court or Supreme Court level. No, entire law you are telling that person, no?
Yes, sir.
You go and you brief the entire law and facts and judgments, and that person just juggles all of them and then give you 2-3 sentences which are again built as grounds and the SLP is filed, and those 3 grounds again convince the judge and you get the answer. So ultimately, not that 1000 page SLP which has found the result. Everything was there before the first forum, second forum, third forum, and fourth forum. Now, how that person could do juggling? You are doing the matter. You see, many times at a lower level, person is doing the matter for the last 10 years. And when you go for a briefing to the senior lawyer, it is only for 1 hour. In that 1 hour, you tell the facts and the law, and he juggles all of them, give you few sentences. Those few sentences are developed into grounds. And then they are presented with a communication skill in such a manner that the court get convinced, you get the answer. So at the end, if you analyze, you may not have analyzed from this analysis, but kindly see at the end what happened. When you pay such a huge amount at the higher level or the top level, ultimately what difference had been made? So that difference can be adopted and brought to the first level. This is what I am saying. You now kindly try to, I am now giving you the answer. Therefore, that jugglery which was done at the top level, what was at the top level? Only that mastery of fundamentals, analytical thinking, that's all. So if that answer could have been brought at the first level, so you don't have to, so you will be able to deliver at the first level itself, whether as a chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, you'll give the answer that this is the answer.
So taking the clue from what you have said regarding the fundamentals, so how to, if any, say, suppose any new law comes in. So what is the tips which you give to get a fundamentals or take things on the fingertips with respect to that particular law?
Yes. Any law, let's assume you have to today you get a case on a salt act on which you have never dealt earlier, right? You will first go backward and see what was the position when this law was not there. What problem arose in the society? Then why this law was framed? What were the object and reasons? What were the debates which took place on this law? Why this law was brought? Then why this law was brought, whether this law has been able to totally plug that problem or not. Why it was amended from time to time. Whether today this law is perfect. You see, we normally not even examine any time. No, that is why we don't challenge the law also. That is why you see today that law is challenged after 100 years. Because one person today start thinking in this manner and say that, look, this law is not rational. So therefore, if we do it in this manner, we will certainly get a result. And my perception is, if you start doing it at the first level, then you will not have to wait for all those things. Then you will be number one. People will say that you will give the solution at the first level. You will be the most successful professional. Then people will come to you from the first. And what difference you have done? You have just mastered the fundamentals, mastered the facts, and juggled them and given a new answer.
I think Ashokji wants to ask something. I'm just unmuting him. Sir, you can unmute yourself. Yes.
My Lordship, I want to know more about, how to be rational.
You see, kindly see, there is a separate topic, science, which is called logic. There are separate books on logic, and I was doing the research on this when I started teaching here, and we had few very nice lectures. I will share with Rahul on this, and I was amazed to find out, as you are asking me today, recently found out, in Maharashtra in 9th class, there is a separate topic and book on the subject of logic, the way that can be sharpened. But we normally don't work on it. And especially, you see, it will not be good to say in our country, in our country, there is a majority of lack of communication skill as well as rational thinking. And best example you can find at homes, no? At homes, when the decisions are taken, and there's no rationality at homes at times. this won't apply to but even outside the homes, we are expected to be rational. There's less of rational. You find when people take the decision, or when there are people not prepared to discuss, no, or talk that let's discuss this. You see, let's assume a son asks the father that, all right, please get me this Mercedes car. So one way he's saying is that you insult him, abuse him, say that why are you asking for a Mercedes car? Second is, you can say that, look, these are 5 reasons. First of all, we don't have the funds at the moment. Secondly, you have not even started with the first car. You first start with it. Third, you should go step by step. If you give 10 reasons, the child will himself say that, look, you are right, I'll wait. But if we, without talking rationally, we just insult him and tell him, you get out from here, what are you? You are opening your mouth too wide. But here in our country, we are more used to that type of communication. No? I must tell you, in the High Court, when I noticed, only not more than 10% people had perfect art of communication as well as rational thinking and fundamentals. Can you believe it? And out of remaining also 85%, there are successful lawyers. I won't say that they are not successful otherwise. Commercially, they are successful. But question here is, success is when everybody is waiting for you to speak. Everybody is running after you, that where is Mr. Ashok? We want to meet him. We want his view. That is the perfection. Today, perfection we are discussing is not a commercial perfection. That when you are earning beyond proportion. Success is when your personality is such that everybody is waiting and say, no, I'm not giving any more consultations. When you go to the court, people wait for you to speak. You speak with a pause, you speak with emotions. And the judge waits for you to speak. Next word, what it comes. Each word comes like a jewel. That is the success. Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else would like to just... I think sir has given a wonderful outline already, and that no question as such particular arises on the session taken by you with respect to that. Yes, Rajkumar sir has raised his hand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can unmute yourself, sir. Sir, you are unmuted.
Hello.
Yes.
Respected Lordship, first of all, congratulations, enlightening us that we should take a risk, because when we speak or practice in a new law, No, I have been making a study on business tribunals because tribunals are not courts. They are the quasi-judicial bodies. I feel in all tribunals, all professionals should be allowed. Chartered accountant, cost accountant, we are making some attempt in that direction. So, chartered accountant is a very they were beginner in the income tax appellate tribunal. So, what is your view on this? Like administrative tribunals, there are many tribunals where chartered accountant is not an authorized representative.
You see, this is not in today's topic, which is there for discussion. So I would like to restrict today's discussion on the topic how to attain perfection in a profession.
Yeah, I thought this is analogy out of.
No, no, this is not analogy, but we'll take up on some other platform or some other occasion. But today,
Thank you so much.
I would like you to raise a question relating to today's topic.
Thank you, sir.
How to attain perfection
Yeah.
in profession and how to become number one. You see, my view is that whatever we become in life, although people say it is destined what you are to become, but you see, the human life has got a choice. You see, that is the difference between human life and all other species, whether plants or animals. They have no choice. And every animal and every species is given entire hardware and software loaded, whatever he wants in life. So meaning that a dog is born as a dog, dies as a dog. You know how it will behave. A dog will not behave differently. You always know how a dog will behave, how a lion will behave, how cow will behave, what are the qualities, how they live, what they eat. What they eat, that also is predetermined. So they don't have to go through any learning. They have no choice. Human beings, out of 100 things, 94 are free, only six things are fixed. Your birth, your death, your marriage, your children, and few other things. Rest everything the God has left open choice. And you are given, you are set free. Nothing is loaded, preloaded. So you are first 20-25 years, you keep on learning and keep on loading, and then you keep on delivering. And you have a choice to rise and become God, or you can fall and go below, not even the animal, far below than what it is there. Complete choice is there. So meaning thereby, so whether a person becomes a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or a judge, it may be one of the fixed things, but how he becomes. So therefore, my perception is whether a person is a lawyer or a CA or a chartered accountant or a tailor or a cobbler, the choice is that he can rise and become the best person in the planet. So if one is a tailor, he should be the best tailor. You must have heard of many tailors who are in Hong Kong, and people from royal family of UK will go there and have the clothes stitched there. Person is a cobbler in France, and people go there to have the shoes there. So whatever one has become in life by destiny or choice, whatever it is, then that choice is there to become the best. There no God comes in between. So therefore today, to my mind, perfection means I will take it to the next level, how to become number one in any profession. And it is not difficult. Even at this stage, it is not difficult. From tomorrow, it is not difficult. So today we are restricting only to, so I'm therefore not taking up that question. Today we should only restrict how to become number one. Tomorrow I should be number one. You see, I'll on fundamentals, I'll clarify a little more. You see, today if I get a case on section 10 of income tax and section 10 exception 2, I'll only read section 10 exception 2, that's all. I don't read why this law was made, what was the position when this law was not there, what was the prior law if it was there, why this law was amended from time to time, what is the problem if it was done to loophole, how the case law is developed, and whether today also this law is complete or there is some problem in this or some loophole in this. once I do it, dissect it thoroughly in this manner, then it is more easy when I applied the mastered facts to the case to get a perfect answer with a logical reasoning. And then whatever decision, whatever view I frame, then I should have the clear logical reasoning. And I tell you one question which was Mr. Ashok had put, logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is not a forefront of only of the professionals. I'll give you a very nice example. You see, there was a case in my court, in High Court, where there was a hotel in Calcutta. So that hotel in Calcutta was playing the songs in the functions without taking the license. So these days, one can't play the songs for commercial value without taking the license. So that license company filed a case in High Court and got a stay from the High Court, stopping that Calcutta company from playing the songs. Normally, in such cases, the people who violate, they come and they say, all right, we are now taking license, and the matter is closed. So I suggested to this lawyer, I said, why don't you close it and pay the license fee and close their nominal license fees? So he said, no, we want to fight. I said, then you call your MD on the next date. We'll find out why in such a small petty matter you want to contest. So next day, the MD of the hotel came to the court. So I asked the lawyer, I said, why don't you close it and pay the license fee? Such cases are not to be contested. You should gracefully take the license. He said, sir, my case on law is very good. I have got 10 judgments and I have got all the citations. I have prepared the law. You first hear the arguments, then form a view. I said, I'm not forming the view. I'll hear you ultimately if it has to be heard. But you first convince me that why don't you close it gracefully? So, but he kept on insisting. Was a very good lawyer. But he never came and answered the question which I was asking. So the MD who was standing behind, he raised the hand. He said, sir, can I answer the question which you are posing, which my lawyer is not answering? I said, yes, you can answer. He said, sir, first of all, the amount which the impression which you are getting, it is a nominal fee and I should not take license. First of all, the company which is asking the money, his itself right is in doubt. That right has been challenged by some other company who is claiming the license. Number two, the amount which they are charging us, he said, sir, if we hold a small party and charge 50,000 rupees, they come and stop us and say that please pay us 70,000 rupees or something like that. They are exploiters. And few other reasons he gave, and I immediately changed my mind. So this rational answer didn't come from the lawyer. He was a very good lawyer. And the lawyer didn't come to the answer. He had his own conviction to keep on, because again, that communication skill requires art of listening, rational thinking before speaking. But the client behind it, who was not a lawyer, from the law side, it was a layman. He said, sir, I will answer what you are saying. And he gave 5 sentences which changed the mind. Therefore, at the end of the day, ultimately, rational thinking is more important. So if we first master fundamentals, then master facts, then apply rational thinking, then have good communication skills, then we master the art of living, and then do it, then we become number one. Then tomorrow, you don't require a year's time. It can be overnight. Thank you.
I think one last Mr. Pushpa Pahas has raised his hand. Pushpa, yes, if you can just. Yes.
So my point, you rightly mentioned that you should always have a smile on your face. It's inexpensive. But finance work is always, at times gets very stressful, and keeping the smile always is a challenge. So what you would say, I agree with rationality, facts, that point I'm totally convinced. But keeping a smile continuously in all these continuous periods, how do we maintain that?
You see, can being in court can there be something more stressful than when you are in court and you are on both sides, you have got heavy weights and contested matters. I always kept the smile in court, no? And when I smile, then everybody has to smile. If I become serious and furious, everybody will become serious. In fact, you don't have to take the life seriously, no?
During sir's
That is why
farewell,
I'm saying it is more important to learn the art of living, art of conscious living. Once you know that art, once you know the art of conscious living, that what is this life and what are we doing here? What is the purpose of being here? That is a separate topic, I think, very wider. If anytime you feel, we can have a separate session on art of conscious living. Once we know how to live consciously, we keep on smiling, holding whatever may happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Can there be more stressful than holding a judicial position? There is so much responsibilities there, and so much high stake matters are there where things are not simple and you have to decide immediately, take a decision on the spot. Injunctions are involved, so you can't defer the decision also.
Right, sir. Thank you.
there is a famous saying by the sir during his farewell speech from the Delhi High Court that in court of law, so both the sides know the truth and it is the judge who is on the trial. So that particular line has been taken by everybody. So it was the line which was there in the social medias and everywhere. So I again repeat that in the court of law, both the parties know the truth and it is the judge who is in the trial. So that is what.
I always believed in this and quoted this many times, although it was reproduced only when in my retirement speech. You see, in the court, both the sides know the truth, both the lawyers know the truth, except me, everybody knows the truth. And whatever I decide, they know the answer. They will immediately check whether I've given the right answer or not. So therefore, it is a very tedious task. We are on trial to how to reach the truth. And truth cannot be found by arguments alone. I always give a very nice example. If I have to decide what is the taste of a liquid in a bottle in front of me, and one side is saying it is sweet, other is saying it is sour, and whether I hear it for 1 day or 1 month or 1 year or 10 years, whether I read 100 judgments, still I can't decide. Only way is to decide is to taste it. And once I taste it, all arguments become irrelevant. Therefore, the art of finding out the truth, what is truth and how to find out the truth, is a separate science. Arguments alone is not something which will give the answer. But again, this is a separate topic we'll take up. In one of my judgments, I have discussed in detail what is truth and how to discover truth.
So I have noted all the things, sir. I'll be again looking forward for your time in this particular topics as well. So this I am getting that there is a basket of knowledge which whenever we put an hand onto you and we'll get something out of it. So it is like that.
Thank you.
So I would now request Kamal sir. We are having this token of appreciation. So it is on behalf of our association. So I'm just caring because right now it is virtually. So we are doing it. Yes, I think, is it visible?
It's being loaded. So I think now it's visible to all, and same shall be sent to sir by courier, I believe.
And yes. So at the end, I will just take an opportunity to express the vote of thanks and extend my gratitude to Honorable Justice J.R. Midha sir for taking out time from his busy schedule and gracing this particular event. And your words were very inspiring and encouraging, and we will definitely look forward for what takeaways you have given with respect to that, and more specifically getting onto the fundamentals, getting onto the rationals behind the law, because the law is evolving, new subjects are coming up, new laws are being developing. So that particular things, the pointers which you have given, so that will help us in attaining the perfection in our profession. Thank you so much, sir. And special thanks to the chairman of Allied Law Committee, Kamal sir, as well, for giving me the opportunity to have sir with us on this particular thing. And that is all from our side. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I think sir may leave, then we'll, sir, you can
Yes,
take it. We'll, sir.
yes, sir. You can stop the sharing of the screen also.
Yes.
I think sir left, so you
Yes.
can end the session. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. We can close the meeting.
Yes, yes. Okay, you all leave. Thank you.